everyone, and welcome to HOA Fight Club. I'm Raylene Shivano. Today I'm going to discuss part 3 of my horror story. So as things kind of progressed with the board and us getting fined, in the middle of all of this, because I had refused to change the pipes in the in our townhouse, the board decided they were going to do a plumbing inspection. Now, you have to really know your CC&Rs. You have to know the declaration and bylaws, and you have to know what is owned by you and what is owned by the association. In Washington State and in our CC&Rs, it said that anything inside the unit was ours. So once the common wall, so anything halfway in, halfway out, was there, you were responsible for what's inside. The board is responsible, and the association for what's outside. So I told the property manager that there was no way we were having a plumbing inspection. I'm not paying the $50 per unit for this inspection to be done. So I kind of fought this for back and forth for a while, and I told them I just had moved in, there's no way I'm paying this, and it was really stupid. So they had the plumbing inspection. They charged every unit, 130 units, $50 to come in and do a plumbing inspection. Now, who did this plumbing inspection? The guy that did the plumbing inspection said he had never done anything like this before. And, you know, it really wasn't a professional inspection. So this guy went through and marked down whether your water heater needed to be changed, whether your pipes needed to be changed, if he didn't like the look of the dishwasher or whatever. People got billed for thousands of dollars worth of repairs for their homes because the board had decided to go into each unit and do an inspection. I, however, did not let them do this. And in doing that, the board kind of lost their minds, especially the board president. She was done with me. In fact, as I later went on into finally getting into the documents of the association, I had found a letter from the board president that said, A104 Shifano, do not talk or do not send anything to this woman or whatever. She won't participate anyways. And so they had excluded me from the plumbing inspection, which caused the other neighbors to get upset. Now, during this whole time, I am trying to get to know the neighbors, because I am now done. I am reading the CC&Rs, and I'm starting to understand what is legal and what's not legal. So I I went and put little sticky notes on everybody's front door, not sticky like sticky, but like little, tab notes, and that said something to the sort of, my name is Raylene Shivano, and I am trying to make an owner's list, an email list that we can all communicate, and blah, blah, blah. Not 15 minutes after I'd hung those notes, I got a fine for sending out these notes. And the board president sent an email to everyone that said that I was a disgruntled homeowner who no longer lived there, and I was causing problems and blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to me. And it was really crazy because, here I am going, what? And I get a letter from the property manager, and he says, you can't hang notes on the doors. Well, in that meantime, those homeowners that were home got those notes. And I ended up building quite a army of homeowners. We started the email list, we got everything together. We started having once a month get-togethers at the cabana. I would bring the wine and beer, and they would bring appetizers and desserts, and we started to really get to know each other. And during this time of getting to know each other, I did not exclude the board. There was board members that actually came to these meetings. And at this meetings, I also found out that one of the owners was not really an owner. This owner was living with his girlfriend, and he was not on the documents for the home, the deed. So in that case, this person, this guy was bullying all of us. He was like the muscle for the board, and he would make everybody, follow along, or you're going to get, we're going to come in and do this, or we're going to do that. So I just said, no way, they're not going to come in. So this guy, we started talking to him and telling him, hey, you are not an owner. You cannot do these things. And it kind of, everything just kind of snowballed into this war between half the homeowners and the others. We didn't know who the others were because everything was done by proxy by then. So really it was just the board member, and things started to get more intense. The property manager and the board president were at me at all times, and everything was just coming to a head, and I felt like so unsafe in my own home. But I did, at the same time, was making really good friends and having, that type of thing going on. Now, during this time, the board president had decided to start having me followed. They would have little walkie-talkies. If they saw us come out of our home, they would follow us all over the place. So I would find people following us to the store. People would just randomly be there when I was there. We would go for walks in the afternoon, and they would have, send out the alert that I was on the move, and they would follow us on our walks. My husband and I ended up starting to walk at 4:30 a.m. in the morning when it was dark, so nobody could follow us. Nobody would see us leave the property, because we would just go out and walk 4 miles and then come back. So it was just kind of a crazy atmosphere during this plumbing inspection. Well, with all the craziness of the plumbing inspection, and at the same time they were doing they were redoing the blacks, the parking lot. They were redoing the parking lot, repaving it. So we all had to park on one end of the parking lot, and there wasn't a lot of parking spots. So I ended up parking way down on the other end of the property. And my daughter, who was probably 19 at the time, were walking to go to work, to my gymnastics club. My daughter worked for me, and we were walking through the parking lot, down this road, the only road that was open at the time, and the board president saw us, and she almost hit us with her car. She swerved right in front of us, came really close, and at that time, my daughter said, well, hello. Not a nice word, but we almost got hit by her car. So we had gone back. I told my daughter, don't do anything, because the board president got out the car. She was yelling and screaming and swearing at us. And I said, Ariel, just don't do it. We're going to go to the car. We'll deal with this later. So as we sat in the car, we kind of calmed down for a few minutes. And then when we drove out, the board president was waiting for us. She was sitting in her car. She jumps out. She's yelling and screaming at us again, and as she's yelling and screaming, I just drove around her, and we left. And then I went to work and wrote a letter to the property manager saying that this was inappropriate. I feared for my daughters and my safety, and what was... At this time, I really still didn't understand the board thing. So what was the board going to do with this board president? Well, we'll find that one out on the next one. I will tell you those details in the next part of my story, but it doesn't get any easier. It just gets a little crazier. So, all right, you guys, I'll see you on the next one.